All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's funny saying that I only have 2 subscribers in my second video, but whatever. um, yeah, so I just wanted to catch up. Like I said, I'm not sure where this channel is going, what's gonna be on here, but for right now, I figure I'd just give a little recap, what's been up, and how maybe not how, but my relationship with spirituality. So, of course, we had the holiday recently, Thanksgiving, which I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving per se, ever since I learned more about it. But, everyone's off, so why not get together and eat, right? Uh, I went to my buddy, he's an artist, had a Friendsgiving, so shout out to him for having me over, him and his girl. Very, very, it was a very nice experience. I had a lot of fun. Haven't had that much fun in a while. Um, yeah, so shout out to Boogie. And I guess the other thing I want to talk about was my relationship with spirituality and how I ended up in this community. Um, 'Cause anybody that knows me will tell you, 2 years ago, if you came to me talking about spirituality, I would think, all right, yeah, cool, whatever, kind of blow it off. But that has definitely changed. Uh, so my sister one day came to me and she told me she had something to tell me. And she told me she thought she was going crazy. And I didn't take that lightly because my sister's an educated person. She has a master's degree in psychology. She has an honorary degree from another school, retired military. So, she's I guess you could say, sane person. Um, so when my sister told me this, I was like, what? And she told me what she was experiencing. And I was like, okay, sounds like channeling. So I started trying to find articles and videos to send to her, to help her out in whatever she was going through. And that's when I kind of got interested because I always questioned organized religion. Things didn't add up to me. Um, why would a quote unquote loving God tell you to sacrifice a kid, or it's okay to rape a woman, or have slaves? Those things didn't make sense to me. Or you can do X, Y, and Z all year and it's considered wrong, but don't eat meat on Fridays for this few weeks or a couple months, and all of a sudden now you're forgiven. It just seems transactional. So I never really got into organized religion. It just never made sense to me. Not saying that anyone that is, I'm not trying to shit on anyone, but for me, it didn't answer the questions I had. You know, um, yeah, I'm looking at my notes. But yeah, so going back to my sister, she, tells me this, whatever she's experiencing. I'm like, okay, it seems like channeling. So I started looking into channeling. And in our conversations, she told me what she would see things or hear things. And I was like, wow, like when I was little, things would happen to me, but I didn't know any better. She didn't know any better. And of course, it's not something you went and told your parents because they would think you're crazy. And so I remember when I was little, I always had lucid dreams. Like I could control my dream, you know? And I didn't know that that was a cousin to astral projection, you know? And so in trying to help my sister, she, one day she would always tell, not one day, but all the time, she would tell me, like, oh, you should meditate, you should meditate. And I was like, whatever. But at the same time, I was at that point in my life where, question everything. What am I doing? You know, uh, what am I do for work? I'm not happy with my job. And so I decided, okay, I'm gonna start meditating. And at first it was hard because it was like, me sit here and be quiet in the dark. I couldn't do it. But eventually I got to that point where I missed it if I didn't do it in the morning or at night, you know. Um, but I think the turning point for me was one night. It was a Friday night, and I remember I just took a little medication. Uh, so I was feeling good, and I was looking for something to watch. Some comedy or something. Like I said, I was medicated, and so at this time I just wanted to just hang out, have fun. But something kept telling me like, "Oh, you need to meditate. You need to meditate." And then I would get a ringing in one ear, then switch to the other ear. It just that kept happening, and I was like, "Wow, that's crazy. I need to meditate." So I remember I was in the recliner, I laid back, and all of a sudden I heard all this noise, and it sounded like a bunch of people in a conference room trying to talk over each other. And so I was like, "What the hell?" And me being a smartass, I said, "Oh, can you turn down the volume? I can't hear too well." And no BS, it seemed like somebody cranked the dial up to 100 and turned it right back down. And I had the sharpest pain in my ear I've ever felt. And then after that, I was like, no way. So I'm a little, taken back by that. That same night, I go to lay down and I was going to meditate. And that was the night I had my first out of body experience. And that just completely changed everything. After that, I was like, wow, how do I do that again? Because what I experienced was so hard to put into words at that time. Um, but I just felt like I was being lifted into space, this darkness, this void with, and it seemed like little lights were flying by me. Then all these colors, and I got to a point where it felt like my body stopped, and then just this blue gas cloud appeared off to the right, and it came towards me. And I don't know how, but I felt like it was a feminine person, like a feminine energy. And I felt it hug me, but I wasn't ever afraid. It felt like, when you like an old aunt or somebody like that can give me a hug. And so after that happened, I was like, yo, how do I do that again? You know, because the biggest takeaway I got from that experience, and I'll never forget, I was laying there on my back and it felt so euphoric. And I just had these tears running out of my eyes, but I was so happy. And I just remember thinking, why are people afraid to die? That's not the end. And that stuck with me. And I woke up feeling so good because I was like, wow, death is not the end. So after that, I started looking into, okay, how do I astral project? And then that led me into chakras and waves of energy and Reiki. And so now, all these things were just interesting to me. And of course, I've always been interested in ancient civilizations and, you know, all these practices and beliefs go way, way, way thousands of years back. So for me, it was just kind of natural in a sense, but still unnatural, if that makes any sense. Just from the way I was raised to where I am now, I don't think anyone would have ever seen that coming. But yeah, so that's how I ended up where I am. And I guess for anybody out there that's confused or has questions, my advice would be get a numerology reading or like a birth chart reading, something like that. That really opened my eyes, and it's quite surprising how many things made sense, you know? Just think about, wow, just because you were born on a certain day and place in your name and all these things come together and how do you explain that? You know? Some people think that science and spirituality don't go together, but when you dig into it, they do. They go hand in hand. So, yeah, I would suggest anybody that's questioning anything like purpose or, what should I do in my career, get a numerology reading, and do your due diligence. There are some people out there, I'll say that, in the spiritual community, there's so many frauds, maybe. I don't know if that's the right word, but opportunists, I think. They put something in a PDF and want to sell it to you for $300. Like, do your due diligence. There's so much information on YouTube, so much information you can get for free, you know. Yeah, don't be suckered. There's a lot of people out here in the spirituality community. It's, I don't know, it's kind of disappointing, but it is what it is. But yeah, just get a numerology reading and journal. I know no one likes to hear that. At least I hate writing. But I started reading this book by Janet Connor, and it's Writing Down Your Soul. And maybe, after I finish the book, I'll talk about that some more. But a really good book, and I didn't think I would like it, but I did. And there's exercises in the book. It's real easy to read, regardless of your religious background. Uh, a really good book. So, Numerology Report, Journaling, Writing Down Your Soul by Janet Connor, I believe. I'll look it up. But yeah, definitely do that. I think you'll notice it'll help a lot. So, like I said, I don't know where this channel is going. I'm gonna try to post a video every week and see what happens. Hey, oh, one other thing. Also started trying to grow my own mushrooms. So maybe I'll document that, and that can be something we talk about. Who knows? So, till next time, guys. Later.